Hello, we'll discuss JMA's September attempt, 3rd September paper of evening shift. So let's start with question number 1. Consider the following molecules and the statement related to them. So you can see this is first one is orthosalicylic acid and second one is para product. So in this case we have intramolecular hydrogen bonding, while in the next case we'll have intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So in first case, intermolecular forces will decrease, while in second case, intermolecular forces will increase. So chances of B should be more likely to be crystalline. This is correct statement. Then B have higher boiling point than A. This is also correct. Third option, B dissolves more readily than A in water. So the solubility in water depends on the tendency of water to form hydrogen bond with these substances. So that you can say will be very much close to each other. So you can't say anything with certainty for this option. Or you may say this is also correct. So correct options will be, as per the options, is A and B true. So we'll prefer answer 4 over here, right? Because intermolecular forces are higher, so B will be more crystalline than A, that is correct. And B has higher boiling point than A, that is also correct. B dissolves more readily than A in water, so that cannot be easily predicted. Or you can say that solubility depends on their tendency to form hydrogen bond with these substances, so that will be almost equally likely. So answer will be 4 over here. Next question is given the major product in the following reaction. So you can see this is basically elimination reaction. So in case of elimination, iodine is a very good leaving group, so it will leave its position and will form a carbocation over here. So once it will leave from its position, we'll get carbocation at this position. And this carbocation will rearrange through hydride shift to this position. And after this hydride shift, further elimination is possible and we'll get the most stable alkene as the product. So the possible product is this one. And it will match with the option. It is option number 4. So I'll write answer as 4 over here. Clear? Then to the next question, given the strength of 5.6 volume H2O2, that is hydrogen peroxide, in terms of mass percentage and molarity respectively. So we know the formula that molarity is equal to volume strength upon 11.2, and volume strength is given to you 5.6. So molarity will be 5.6 by 11.2, which is simply 0.5. And then percentage by mass you have to report, and its given density is 1 gram per ml. So that means 100,000 ml solution is, you can say 1000 ml solution, because molarity is 0.5. So 1000 ml solution contains 0.5 into 34 grams of H2O2. And if I take density 1 gram per ml, so you can say 100,000 gram solution contains 17 gram. So 100 ml solution, or you can say 100 gram solution, because density is given 1. So we can write 100 gram of solution will contains 0.5 into 34 by 1000 into 100. So this comes out to be 1.7 gram per gram. This will be the percentage by mass. So possible answer is 4 here. So we'll write answer as 4. Is that clear? 1.7 and 0.5 each. Then question number 4, d electron configuration of ruthenium En. So you know ruthenium is atomic number 44, and it is just like iron configuration. So if you write the configuration, it will be 4d6. Oxygen state will be +2. So 4d6. Atomic number is 44. So 4d6, and here strong field ligand, weak field ligand doesn't make sense, because for 4d it is always a strong field ligand. So the splitting will be like, this gap will be higher. So splitting will be like all 6 electrons are paired here. And when you will check it for iron, 26 2 plus, this is again 3d6. Now in case of water, which is weak field ligand, so weak field ligand means first electron will move to the higher energy level and then it will pair. So in this case, the configuration will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you check the configuration in case of ruthenium, the configuration is T2G6. In case of iron, the configuration will be T2G4, Eg2. So as per the options, we will write answer 4. Clear? So in case of 4D, 5D series, there is no importance of strong field ligand, weak field ligand. All ligands behaves like a strong field ligand. Now to the next question, question number 5. It's when complex A has a composition of H2, H12O6, Cl3Cr, the complex on treatment with concentrated H2SO4 loses 13.5% of its original mass. Then the correct molecular formula of A is, so that means on treatment of concentrated H2SO4, it will lose water of crystallization. So with that, we can predict how many water molecules are present outside the molecule. So first calculate the percentage of water loss. So here molecular mass of the substance, that is CrCl3.6H2 if I write. So its molecular weight is 265. If I calculate percentage of water here, this is 265 into 13.5 by 100, which is approximately 36. So you can say 1 mole of substance have 2 moles of water of crystallization. So the possible formula is CrH2O whole 4 Cl2, coordination number of chromium is 6, Cl dot 2H2O. So as per given options, we must write the answer as 2. Clear? Then question number 6. It's when three isomers A, B, C, molecular formula C8H11N gives the following results. A and C on diazotization gives P and Q, and hydrolysis and followed by oxidation results R and S. R is product of A and R has the lower boiling point, that means there will be intramolecular hydrogen bonding in case of R and intermolecular hydrogen bonding in case of S. And B on reaction with C6HO2, C6H5SO2Cl gives alkali insoluble product, which confirms that it must be 2-degree amine. So with this information, we'll predict that it is 2-degree amine. While for the other case, with the options, we'll start ortho and para product, you have to just predict. So if I take first with the ortho product, this is NH2, CH2, CH3. So first if I'll go for diazotization followed by hydrolysis. So diazotization will lead to N2 plus Cl minus and CH2, CH3. And with the hydrolysis, we'll get phenolic OH over here and then CH2, CH3. And further oxidation with K1O4 will lead to the oxidation of CH2, CH3 with COH group. So it will form salicylic acid. And if it is having lesser boiling point than S, then it is certainly R. This compound is A. And with a similar manner, we can predict about C. C must be now para product with the same group, and its final product will be para hydroxybenzoic acid. This is S. Boiling point of R is lesser than S because of intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So now you can easily predict that this is A. P is 2-degree amine, which we have already decided. So this is correct, and this is para product. This is also correct. So that means with respect to options, your answer must be 1. Clear? Next, when 5 successive ionization energies of the elements are given, the number of valence shell electrons. So the logic is the position from which suddenly ionization energy increases is the point position where valence shell has changed. So this is, if you check, this is increase, and here it is sudden increase. So from 3 to 4 there is sudden increase. So we predict that number of valence shell electron will be 3. So 3, 5, 6, 5, 8, 2, 2, 5, 0, 2, 4 is sudden height. So sudden increase confirms shell change. That means number of valence shell electron will be 3, and your option will be 2. Your option will be 2 here. That is 3 valence shell electron. Next, given the mixture of 1 mole of hydrogen, helium, and oxygen. So, in a closed container of volume V and temperature T, the partial pressure of hydrogen is given to U as 2 atm, and mole fraction of hydrogen can also be calculated as 1 upon 1 plus 1 plus 1, because all three gases have 1 mole. So it is 1 by 3. Then partial pressure of hydrogen can be written as mole fraction of hydrogen into total pressure. So total pressure will get 6 atm. So with the options, answer must be 1. Okay. Then question number 9. It's given 100 ml of 0.1 m HCl is taken in a beaker and 100 ml of 0.1 m NaOH is added. In step of 2 ml, the pH is continuously measured. Which of the following graph depicts the pH change? So we know the neutral point will come up in the curve at the point of reflection from where it has changed. So this is 0.7, because strong acid, strong base, neutral point will be at pH 7. Strong acid, strong base, neutral point will be pH 7, or equivalence point, better to say equivalence point will be at pH 7, and the position from where the vertical line, close to vertical line, is observed in the graph, you can say that is the point of equivalence point. So pH 7 will be in this way. Starting pH cannot be 7. Straight line, it won't vary. So see, 3 and 4 is incorrect. And towards the end also pH is not 7. So that is also incorrect. So the possible answer over here is 2. Is that okay? Then to the next question is, when consider the following reactions. And here you are treating it with chromic oxide. So chromic oxide will oxidize 1 degree alcohol and 2 degree alcohol. So it will oxidize this alcoholic group and this alcoholic group. Here you can notice that this is 3 degree alcohol. So it won't be oxidized, and this is phenolic oxygen. This is phenolic group, so this also won't be oxidized. Now it's given product P gives positive steric ammonium nitrate test. So steric ammonium nitrate test is given by alcohol as well as phenol. This is important. Steric ammonium nitrate test is given by alcohol as well as phenol, although their color changes are different, but both gives positive test, because here in the question only given is which gives positive test. So positive test means they haven't mentioned the actual color. In case of alcohol, steric ammonium nitrate test gives you red or wine red color, and in case of phenol, steric ammonium nitrate test can give a color of either green or brown. So in both the case, you can say positive test. So positive test can be given by 3 degree alcohol, that is B, and phenol, that is D. So possible answer must be 3. Because with positive test, it does not confirm alcohol, it confirms alcohol or phenol. Both gives positive test. So product P gives positive steric ammonium nitrate test. This is because of presence of which of these groups? So groups are either C or D. Both groups can give the same positive test. So your answer must be B and D. Right? Answer must be B and D. But the point is that whenever it is a test of phenol and alcohol in a common mode, then alcohol will be preferred for steric ammonium nitrate test. So answer can be given 2. So that you have to argue with JEE mains examiners. So perfect answer if you write it as 2, but if you take benefit of doubt, it can be 3 also. because phenol also gives positive test for ferric ammonium nitrate test, but when it will be in competition, alcohol will give positive test. So better is it should not be given that much dose content. Either it should be mentioned that color is red, so that it is very much clear that it is because of 3 degree alcohol. So it can be B and D. So for my side, that answer can be 2 or 3. Both should be correct because there is a benefit of doubt. Otherwise, perfect answer will be 3. Okay. Next we go for question number 11. It's given an ionic missile is formed in the addition of. So missile formation takes place with the polar compounds having long carbon chain in water. So first option is given sodium stearate with pure toluene. So in toluene, that missile formation is not possible. This is a compound which contains a long carbon chain along with the polar groups, and in the excess of water, so it can form missile. So missile formation takes place with this compound. That means your answer must be 2. With other options, liquid diethyl ether will not form micelles. Excess of water, if you add with this compound, then this is not having long carbon chain, so this is not a surfactant, will not be preferred. So answer will be 2 here. Yeah. That's when the incorrect statement among A to D regarding the acid rain is it can corrode water pipes, correct? It can corrode water pipes, it's correct. It can damage structure made up of stone, this is also correct. You can say on the marble you can write calcium carbonate reacts with H2SO4 will form calcium sulfate, water and CO2. So it can damage marble. It cannot cause respiratory ailments in the animal. So this is incorrect. And it is not harmful for the tree. So this is also incorrect. These are two incorrect statements. So incorrect is asked. So we will write C and D. That means answer is 2. Okay. So if you want to check the proof of this process, then you can check NCERT 11th class volume 2. So you can check the same statement. Acid rain is harmful for agriculture, trees, plants, and dissolves and washes away nutrients needed for their growth. It causes respiratory ailments to the human being and the animals. So both the statements are wrong. That's why I have preferred answer 2. This is your NCERT 11th class, volume 2, environmental chemistry chapter. You can easily find out. So answer is 2 here. Then question number 13 is given for the reaction 2A plus 3B gives plus 3C by 3 by 2C gives 3P. So here which statement is correct? So if I'll prefer rate of reaction with respect to this segment, so I can write minus 1 by 2 dNA by dt will be equal to minus 1 by 3 dNB by dt is equal to minus 2 by 3 dNC by dt is equal to, if we have to write product, so that we can also write this is rate of reaction. So rate of reaction is rate of consumption of any reactant and product divided by stoichiometric coefficient. So if you have to correlate these terms, then we can write dNA by dt, which you have to rate. So dNA by dt, so multiplied by 2 for the whole equation, so it becomes 2 by 3 dNB by dt is equal to 4 by 3 dNC by dt. So if you match with the options here, so the matching option will be fourth one. dNA by dt is equal to 2 by 3 dNB by dt is equal to 4 dNC by dt. So our preferred answer will be 4 here. Okay. Then question number 14 is given. The amongst the statement 1 to 4, the correct one is beryllium has smaller atomic radius as compared to magnesium, correct? Because shell is different. Beryllium has higher ionization enthalpy than aluminum. This is also correct. Down the group ionization energy decreases and beryllium is alkaline earth metal, aluminum is in the next group. So certainly ionization energy of beryllium will be higher. You can write the configuration also. Beryllium configuration is 1s2, 2s2. Aluminum configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. So ionization energy will be certainly higher for beryllium because the electron is to be removed from 2s. Charge to radius ratio of beryllium is greater than aluminum. This is not correct because beryllium have diagonal relationship, so the statement is wrong. Diagonal relationship with aluminum, and for diagonal relationship the condition is that charge to side radius ratio will be almost closest, or it should be almost equal. In that condition only diagonal relationship is preferred. And the last option, both beryllium and aluminum form mainly covalent compound. This is also correct. So here first, second and fourth statement is correct. So with the given options we can write answer 3. Sorry, 1, 2 and 4. So answer will be 1. Statement number 1, 2 and 4 is correct. So answer must be 1 here. Make it very clear. Or statement number 3 is only wrong statement. So 2, 3 and 4 is not possible. So answer is 1, 2 and 4 correct, means answer is 1. Then question number 15 is given. Consider the hypothetical situation where azimuthal quantum number L takes values 0, 1, 2 up to n plus 1, where n is the principal quantum number, then the element with the atomic number. So that means here you have to create your n plus L rule again. So possible value of n and L we are writing. If n is 1 and the value of L possible is 1 and 2, because it's 0, sorry 0, 1 and 2, because it's given up to n plus 1. So the value of L will be 0, then n, and n plus 1 means 2. If n is 2, then the value of possible L is 0, 1, 2, 3. Right? So if I write the increasing order of energy, so we have to check it with n plus L rule. So minimum L will be n plus L means 1 plus 0. So this is 1s, let's say. Or we just write the combination of n plus L. So 1 plus 0 is minimum 1. Then next value is 1 plus 1, 2. Then 2 plus 0 is also 2. So n is more, then energy will be more. Next possibility we can write 1 plus 2. This is 3. Another possibility is 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 likewise. So we can write this as 1 plus 2. This is 3. Next possibility is 2 plus 1. This is also 3. And next possibility is 3 plus 0. This is also 3. So like that it will fill up. Now you can check number of electron filling possibilities. So if L is equal to 0, then M is 0. When L is 1, then possible value of M is minus 1, 0 and plus 1. Because other quantum number information is not given, so we'll consider the standard case. And in each orbital 2 electrons are possible, so here filling capacity will be 6 electron, right? So if I write the configuration increasing order system, so it will be 1s, then it is 1p, then it is 2s, then it is 2p, and then it will be 1d, then it will be again 2p, uh, sorry, just a minute. So it is 1s, then 1p, then it is 2s, then it is 1d, after that it will be 2p, then 3s and so on. So it's given atomic number 13 configuration you have to write. So it is 1s2, it is 1p6, 2s2 and 1d. So it is 13 electrons, so 1d3. This is the possible configuration. So with this you can see 6 has 2p valence shell, that is also incorrect. 8 has the first noble gas, that is also not correct, because first noble gas will appear when you will start the second period. So that means you should not follow n plus L rule, because as per the given, because nothing is given how to fill the electron. So that means we will not follow n plus L rule. We will follow a technique that first shell will be complete, then second, then third, and so on. So that is totally absurd how to predict. But with that, no option is matching, so we definitely try another case. So we'll write 1s, then it is 1p, then it is 1d, then it is 2s, 2p, 2d, 2f, and so on. Like that will fill. And then you'll check that this is the case, which is where first period is over, this is second period over. So when atomic number will be 13, then we can write configuration 1s2, 1p6, 1d5. So it is half filled 1D. That means answer 1 can be a possible answer with this technique. Otherwise, you will definitely claim for a bonus for such question because question language is absurd and is not clearly mentioned, because if nothing is given, we'll follow n plus L rule. With that, option A is not fit over here. 6 has 2p valence electron, that is definitely not possible. 8 is the first noble gas, that is not possible. First noble gas will be when it will reach to 1s2, 1p6. So with this rule, it will follow first noble gas. So it will be 1s2, 1p6, 1d10. So it must be 18. This will be first noble gas. And after this first alkali metal will appear, that will be 19. So that is also not correct. So with this rule, that if I'll assume that first cell will be complete, then second cell will be complete, and so on, means energy order will assume with the shell, not with the subshell, then answer 1 can be attained. But that is purely up to you. If you are satisfied with this, it is okay. Otherwise, you definitely claim a bonus over here. It can go for a bonus because language of the question is not perfect. Next set is when the incorrect statement is the magnet and paramagnet ion of the pi bonding takes place by overlap of p orbital of oxygen and d orbital of manganese. That is correct because if you draw the structure, a paramagnet ion is MnO4 2 minus MnO4 minus. This is paramagnet ion, which is diamagnetic, and magnet ion is MnO4 2 minus, and this is paramagnetic. And here we have p pi bond. So first statement is correct. Second statement is given magnet and paramagnet ions are paramagnetic. This is incorrect because paramagnet ion diamagnetic and magnet ion are magnet ion are paramagnetic. Paramagnet ion diamagnetic. Magnet and paramagnet ion are tetrahedral. This is correct. Magnet ion is green color and paramagnet ion is purple color. This is also correct. So here incorrect statement is asked. So answer must be 2 over here. This is the answer. Then question number 17 is given the decreasing order of reactivity towards the compound for nucleophilic substitution reaction, SN2 reaction. So we'll check here because you'll see the leaving group is Cl for all the cases. So we'll check that SN1 chances will decrease, then SN2 chances will increase. That means if carbocation is lesser stable, SN2 will be more. You can check over here like this. So if carbocation less stable, then SN2 will be more. Because in all the cases it is CH2, Cl, so hindrance is also same, leaving group is same, nucleophile is not given, solvent is not given. So you can't compare with any rule of SN2. So we'll check with the carbocation case. If carbocation will be more stable, it will prefer SN1. So if carbocation is lesser stable, it will go with SN2. So stability of carbocation, if you will compare, so in this case the most stable carbocation is 1 because in that no electron withdrawing group is there. After that, if you check, then both the NO2 are at the meta position, so only minus I character will be there, so it will be 4. In this case, both the NO2 will simply apply minus I character. In this case, this NO2 will apply minus M minus I, and here it will apply only minus I. In this case, if you check, here it will apply minus M minus I, and here only minus I, and at para position minus I will be weaker, ortho position minus I will be stronger. So if you will compare carbocation stability here, so it will be 1, 4, 3 and 2. So here more SN1, so certainly less SN2, and here less SN1, so certainly more SN2. This way we can predict. So the possible cases 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1. So we have to check 2, 3, 4, 1. That means possible answer is 3. Clear? Then to the next question is given the increasing order of reactivity of the following compounds in a nucleophilic addition reaction. So nucleophilic addition will check two things. First, the electron deficiency at the carbonyl carbon and then the hindrance. So normally aldehydes have more reactivity than ketones. So if you will compare the procedure, so it is propionaldehyde first, hindrance less and slight plus I character. Then we have benzaldehyde C6H5CHO. Here benzene can have resonance with this CO group, so reactivity decreases. After that we have propanol, so CH3CH COCH3, 2 plus I character. And after that we have butanol, so CH3CH2 C double bond O CH3 plus I of CH3 and C2H5 is more. So the possible combination leads to the answer butanol, propanol, benzaldehyde and propanol. So we'll prefer answer 1 here, right? Clear? Then next question, it is given, match the following drugs with their therapeutic actions. So just check, it is the NCERT data. Ranitidine is antacid, Nartel is an antidepressant drug, then chloroampheganol is antibiotic, and dimetane is antihistamine. So if we'll match it is first option will match with antacid, that means D. Nardil is matching with antidepressant, that means A. Chloropicanol is your antibiotic, so it will match with B. And the last one matches with antihistamine, that is C. So your answer must be 1D, 2A, 3B, 4C. That means option 2. So we'll write answer 2 over here. For structures and relevant data, you can refer your NCERT book, 12th class, second volume, Chemistry in Everyday Life. You'll find out these results. So answer is 2. Next, it is given the compound A in the following reaction reacts with CH3 MgBr water followed by concentrated reduced over heat gives B. P on ozone gives C and D. Compound C, you can see it's Cannizzaro reaction, so you can predict easily that C must be benzaldehyde, because benzaldehyde on Cannizzaro reaction will produce these two products. You can easily check that benzaldehyde on Cannizzaro reaction will produce this product and this product. So with oxidation reduction, you can easily predict it is benzaldehyde. And the second reaction, it is aldol condensation, beta hydroxy carbonyl, alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. So from here you can predict that D is acetone. Acetone on undergoes aldol condensation will give you this product. So D is acetone. So certainly B will be a ozone-less product. So B is C6H5CH double bond CCS3. And before this we need an alcohol, and that alcohol on dehydration gives this product. So possible alcohol is, this is CH2COH, CH3 and CH3 this way, or OH can be on other side also, right? So this can be on the other side also. So we may write this as a product that we'll select with the options. So this can also be a product, this or this. Both the cases, dehydration of alcohol will lead to the same product. So that you have to check with the option that which will fit better at this place. Let's given it is with the Grignard reagent reaction. So that means if I choose this one, it will be CH2, C double bond O CH3. This on Grignard reagent will add one CH3, and that CH3 will undergo dehydration, and then ozonolysis will lead to acetone and benzaldehyde. That means with the given options, we can try option 2. We can try option 2, so answer must be 2. In other case, if you will check with option 1 also, C6H5CO, CH2CH3, if you add with that agent, then it will form C6H5CH, COH and CH3. And then with the alkene will not give you that B. So that will not lead to the formation of that alkene. That means with this product, we can try further, because if you have CO group, then CH3 won't add up that position. So answer 2 is correct. Clear? Just check with the relevant reaction. If you attack on Grignard agent on this, you will get first, on attacking of Grignard agent, you will get this product. This on dehydration proceeds to this, and this on ozonolysis will lead to these two products. Okay, so your answer is 2 here. Next is integer type of questions. Given 250 ml of an aqueous solution containing 0.73 gram of protein. A is isotonic with 1 liter, another aqueous solution containing 1.65 gram of protein at 298 Kelvin. The ratio of molecular masses of A and B is. So if it is given isotonic solution, that means their osmotic pressure is same, and osmotic pressures are same, and both are the protein, that means one top factor is also same, so their concentrations are same basically. So if I write concentration of A here, this is 0.73 by molecular mass of A, these many moles in 250 ml solution. So in 2000 by 250, this is concentration, so this is 0.73 into 4 by mA. Similarly, if I write concentration of B, this is 1.65 gram isotonic with 1 liter of another aqueous solution containing 1.6 gram of protein, so its molecular mass mg, and this is 1 liter solution, so this is simply molarity. This is 1.65 by mb. Both have the same osmotic pressure, so their concentrations are same. So A must be equal to B. So from here I can write 0.73 into 4 by mA is equal to 1.65 by mb. And in the question it's asked that you have to write the ratio of molecular mass of A by B. So MA by MB will be equal to 0.73 into 4 by 1.65. And this we have to report in the nearest integer value, and that too into 10 to the power minus 2 mode. So this comes out to be 1.769696, something like this. And if you write it into 10 to the power minus 4 mode, so it is 176.96 into 10 to the power minus 2. And when I have to report in the nearest integer value, check it carefully, then we'll write answer as 177.00. This will be the answer. Next, it is given volume in ml of 0.1 and NaOH required to neutralize 10 ml of 0.1 and phosphenic acid. Phosphenic acid is S3PO2, or you can write hypophosphorus acid, that is same thing. So phosphenic acid is S3PO2, although that is not needed. You need not to check the formula for this because milliequivalents will be equal. So, and it's given normality, so we don't need formula here. So we can write milliequivalents of NaOH will be equal to milliequivalents of phosphenic acid, which is S3PO2. If you know the formula, it's good. If you don't know the formula, it's still not a big deal. So it is zero point 0.1 into volume V is equal to 0.1 into volume 10 ml. So from here we'll get volume as 10 ml, and our answer will be 10.00. Next question is, given an acidic solution of dichromate is electrolyzed for 8 minutes using 2 ampere current. As per the following equation, the amount of Cr3 plus obtained was 0.104 gram. The current efficiency in the process is, so you can check here that for 1 mole of Cr3 plus, better to say 2 moles of Cr3 plus will be produced by 6 Faraday charge. If we consume 6 Faraday charge, it produces 2 moles of Cr3 plus. So for 1 mole of Cr3 plus, it needs 3 Faraday charge. It's need 3 Faraday charge. And chromium, we have the amount of chromium obtained is 0.104 gram divided by its molecular mass 52. This is the mole. So the charge needed is 0.104 by 52 into 3 Faraday. And this is the charge we obtained from the current 2 ampere for 8 minutes. So current efficiency will be the requirement of charge is 0.104 by 52 into 3 into 96500 divided by, this is coulomb, and this is supplied by 2 ampere current for 8 minutes into 60. This is the charge supplied, and into 100 this will be current efficiency which you have to report. And in the question it's clearly mentioned that you have to report in the percentage. Check. So if we solve, it will come out to be 60.31%. So here it is not given, you have to mention in nearest integer, so your answer must be 60.31. Although answer given is 60.00, so you can claim again over here for your answer 60.31, or approximately margin should be given for this, because it's not mentioned. You have to mention nearest integer. For nearest integer it will be 60, but in this question it's not mentioned, so actual answer is 60.31. Next, it's given 6.023 into 10 to the power 22 molecules are present in 10 gram of a substance X. The molarity of a solution containing 5 gram of a substance X in 2 liter solution is. So first we calculate molecular weight. So molecular weight is mass of 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 molecules. So that means molecular weight of the substance must be 100 gram. Now you have to calculate the molarity of a solution containing 5 gram of a substance X in 2 liter solution. So if we calculate molarity, so it is number of moles of fluid present in 1 liter solution. This will be your molarity. So this is, and you have to report it into 10 to the power minus 3. If you solve, it will come out to be 0.025. And if I have to report it into 10 to the power minus 3, so 25 into 10 to the power minus 3, this will be molarity. So our answer will be 25. Next, it is given number of CO groups present in a tripeptide. So this is aspartic acid containing a carboxylic acid group by its own. This is glutamic acid. This also contains a COH group. Lysine consists of additional NH2 group. And as it is an amino acid, so definitely one terminal will be carboxylic acid group. In between two peptide linkages, other groups you can select by your own. There is no need that we'll write the complete formula, but you can understand that linked it has linked two peptide bonds. So this is one peptide bond, this is another peptide bond, and after that, at the last terminal, it will be NH2 group. So structure will be something like this. We can mention that one. We can mention that here one aspartic acid group will be there. Here one glutamic acid will be there, and here it will be listed. And you can check with this one group, one COH group is additionally present, and with this one COH group is additionally present, and you have to count number of CO bonds. So number of CO bonds will be 2 peptide linkage and 3 carboxylic acid groups. So 2 peptide and 3 carboxylic acid groups are there. So total CO units will be 5. So our answer will be 5. So this completes your paper. Thank you so much.